local community shares. My name is Raylan.
And I'm Chelsea.
And today we are representing the Health Resource Center of Cincinnati. As far as the Gourmet Grub for Good, we chose to do s'mores cupcakes for this year's entry. Just as an homage to summer winding down and just a really kind of a twist on the classic staple of summertime. So Chelsea here is going to speak a little bit more about the Health Resource Center and what we do.
So the Health Resource Center, it is a part of the community Shares of Greater Cincinnati, which is why we are making these really delicious cupcakes for the Gourmet Grub for Good. And so what HRC, also known as for the Health Resource Center of Cincinnati, we're known in the community as HRC. And so what we provide is we provide mental health services to address emotional, behavioral, and even substance use disorders. And so through that, we're able to provide affordable health care. And that is able to reach whether it's homeless, indigent, or just, people needing help with barriers such as adults and youth. And so we provide those services at an affordable cost. And HRC is actually a nurse-managed clinic, which kind of helps us to be able to provide those services as well.
As stated, our submission for this year's Gourmet Grub for Good are these delicious s'mores cupcakes. As you can see. And so yeah, we hope you appreciate this recipe and can somehow find time to make these wonderful cupcakes. I know Chelsea and I had a lot of fun making them today, so we're gonna, next comes the taste test, so enjoy.
Yes, and please get out there, support Community Shares and all the other organizations out there that are a part of this group. Once you have all the ingredients combined in your sifter, you can sift all your ingredients. Like that. So there's our half cup. And then there's 1 cup of granulated sugar. And after that, you're gonna just wanna whisk it all up. So you're gonna wanna grab a bigger bowl because we're gonna add the dry ingredients we sifted earlier with the coffee mixture that we just mixed up. So now that we've mixed all of our ingredients together for the cupcakes, we can go ahead and we can put it into our muffin tin. We're going to go ahead and put these in the oven, and you'll want to set it for 350 when you preheat your oven. And we're going to go ahead and put them in for 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, for the milk chocolate ganache, we're gonna finely chop some milk chocolate, and here's where you have a bit of leeway, which if you prefer dark chocolate or, caramel chocolate, you can use whatever you prefer. So we're gonna finely chop this. Okay, so once we have our milk chocolate finely chopped, we're gonna place it into a heat-proof bowl. Okay, so next we're gonna bring a half a cup of heavy cream to a boil over medium heat. And we're not gonna bring it quite to a roaring boil. We're just gonna wait until we see a couple bubbles surfacing. Another option, instead of doing this over the stove, would be to microwave it at 15-second intervals until you see bubbles rising. So now that this is just boiling, we're gonna bring it over very carefully to the finely chopped milk chocolate, and we're just gonna pour that right over the chopped up chocolate. And we're gonna let that sit for a couple minutes. Okay, so next we're gonna whisk this together until everything is thoroughly melted and mixed together. And then once we've mixed it all together and we're good to go, we're gonna set the ganache aside and let it sit until it comes to room temperature, which can take anywhere from, about 1 hour to maybe closer to 2 hours. And that's the cupcakes. Okay, so we're just gonna let this sit and get to room temperature. And then once that is at room temperature, we're going to reserve about 3/4 of a cup for the frosting part, and the rest will be used to fill the cupcakes.
And they smell delicious. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start on the buttercream frosting. So we're gonna add our stick of butter for 1/2 cup of butter. And so we're gonna go ahead and cream our butter. So next, after creaming our butter, we're gonna add 3/4 cup of the ganache that we made earlier into our mixer. So after that, we're gonna go ahead and add 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, and you're gonna wanna sift that as you add it. So we'll go ahead and sift that into this bowl. We're gonna go ahead and add the rest of the powdered sugar into our mixing bowl. And I'll go ahead and put this back down since we're done sifting. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Two tablespoons. And then the last thing we need is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Right, and then our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we will go ahead and mix this all up. So you're gonna, like I did, you wanna mix it on low until it's mostly incorporated. But usually powder likes to kind of get on the edge. So you'll definitely wanna take, whether if you have like a spatula or even like something that you can just scrape the edges with and get all the extra powder off. Alright, so now that it's incorporated, we are done with the buttercream frosting portion of our recipe.
Okay, so this next part, we're gonna make a little double boiler here. We're gonna bring this pot of water to just barely a simmer, kind of barely a boil. And then once that is in a good heat range there, we're just gonna place this bowl carefully over the top of it, making sure that the bottom of the bowl isn't touching the water. And then we're just gonna constantly whisk it while it's heating up. Okay, we're gonna immediately start whisking this on high. So to begin the assembly of the cupcakes, we're gonna start by removing a tiny piece of the center of each cupcake, and you can do this using either a spoon, teaspoon, whatever works for you. Okay, so this next step is just filling the indents we made in the cupcakes with the previously made milk chocolate ganache. And this is gonna get a little bit messy, that's okay, that's what baking's about. I'm just gonna work that into that scooped out center there.
Alright, so I'm gonna try and channel my intermolier, or my intermolier, and try and pipe these.
And we chose to take the cupcakes out of their baking dish, put them in this baking pan to allow for the extra graham crackers to, not spill everywhere. And this will be easy to just go ahead and pipe the marshmallow frosting onto them as well, which is the last step.
We're gonna take the marshmallow mix that we made earlier, the marshmallow topping, and it actually came out pretty good. So what we're gonna do, and it might require a little extra help off the spoon, but we're just gonna top the top of our cupcakes with a little bit of marshmallow.